We're back in the years when all sci-fi movies had a crapload of action and banger music thumping throughout. Even if this movie was bad, it would still be good. That's the glory of the sci-fi movies that came out the same time as 2008's Babylon AD, and Vin Diesel was in everything, so it's not a shock to see him here. Spoiler alert, I'm just giving you my opinion in this video. By all means, the link to the movie is in the description so you can try it out for yourself. Also, help us reach our goal of 100,000 subscribers before the end of 2021. For a film that has the key pieces to make it a hit, it received next to no promotions because of issues with the director in the studio. The director even made a documentary film that chronicles how they screwed him over in the making of this film. As Turop walks through a broken down country, there are tanks in the street and guns for sale every 10 feet.
This got me killed! I paid $20 for this! I want my money back!
$20 for a handgun? You can't beat that deal, even for a broken one. Keep it for parts, or you could probably fix it for cheaper than buying a new one. As Turop gets back to his apartment complex, he prepares himself a nice meal and sits down to eat before his whole front door gets blown away. As a squad of elite mercenaries enter, Turop recognizes the one behind him as someone he promised to kill the next time he points a gun at him. Sure enough, Turop drops him in front of all the other mercenaries. As he's escorted from what's left of his apartment, he's taken into an armored vehicle where he meets Gorsky, who wants to hire him. Gorsky definitely looks like your traditional Russian mobster that you just don't trust with business, but that armored vehicle with screens inside to give a 360-degree scope of vision is probably the coolest thing I've seen in a while. I'd do a job for one of those. Turns out Gorsky has a job that Turop can't refuse, a smuggling job taking a girl across the ocean to America. He can't get into America anymore, but Gorsky has a way to smuggle him and the girl into the country for good. That's enough to pique Turop's interest. Turop and his car are dropped off just outside of a convent in the mountains, and Sister Rebecca makes her way across the bridge to lay down some rules before they continue. Rule 1, she stays with the girl. Rule 2, no outside influences. Rule 3, no foul language. Not even I could live with that last rule. That feels like an awful lot to ask of someone that was only supposed to be picking up one person to smuggle. But of course, Turop lays down his one and only rule for Rebecca.
Don't with me, or I'll leave you standing in the middle of nowhere with nothing but your ass to sell to get back here.
Yeah, she's not a big fan of him, but she knows that she doesn't really have any other options at this point. I'm also assuming Turop is marketed as one of the best mercenaries around. As Sister Rebecca walks back to bring Aurora, Turop prepares the car for their journey. Once Aurora gets to the car, Turop tries to get her in the car, but she insists on asking questions about Turop. After telling her that they really shouldn't even bother talking, they get on their way.
Your Highness, we've crossed the Canadian border.
Who the hell does that weirdly detailed eyeball belong to? This was a cool thing about a lot of films around this time. They give you a glimpse of the bad guy essentially releasing the hounds just so you knew that things were about to go down. There was no mystery in what we're running from. You just sit back and enjoy the ride from here. As Turop gets them to the train station, he parks the car and the three of them start to make their way through the crowd. In the marketplace, the cameras pick her up and we find out that her father is also looking for her. Eventually, they come across wild animals in cages and Aurora gets distracted. Once Turop gets her back, he ends up losing her in the crowd that's trying to get on the train, but as she runs away, she senses something. Sure enough, a bomb goes off in the train station and they're free to head straight into the train. Once on the train, Aurora tries to find out more about the animals, and she finds out that they were actually clones since the species had gone extinct years ago. Yeah, so what happened to keeping her sheltered from the outside world? And there's that banging music I mentioned before. It's a staple of the time. Here Turop meets his friend Finn, who is asking for help crossing the ocean, and Aurora and Rebecca continue to watch the cage fight that's going on. As they go to leave, a bunch of runners drop from everywhere and surround them. They offer him $1 million in exchange for letting the girls go free with them. He ponders about it for a second, but ultimately he chooses the job. I know I keep saying it, but there's that loud, bumping action music and the necessary parkour chases. Thanks to other outlets such as Assassin's Creed and 007's Casino Royale, parkour found an exciting home in different forms of entertainment. Babylon AD came out during the hype of parkour becoming an international trend. It's still a lifestyle that is celebrated nowadays, but films and games from this time period helped push it into the limelight. As Turop and Rebecca fight the runners that keep coming out of nowhere, Aurora finds herself getting grabbed and carried into the arms of the cage fighter. As he caresses her skin, a peaceful look comes over him until Turop comes into the cage to talk him into letting Aurora go. When the announcer locks him in and starts the clock, the fighter attacks Turop.
Stop it!
In Turup's defense, he tried talking his way out of it and told him that he didn't want to fight. It's kinda hard to just keep talking when a crazed maniac bum rushes you from the other side of a cage arena.
Your father sent us.
My father?
Why didn't you just say that before? They might have just gone with you if you paid Turup and told them who you're working for. But no, we have to wait until after the big nice guy gets killed. As they run off with Aurora, Turup and Rebecca chase after them. After they catch up, Turup shoots one down, and it's enough for Aurora to come over to him. The next morning, Turup, Rebecca, Aurora, and Finn gather on the ice to board the boat that will take them to North America. As they walk, they realize that not all of them are gonna make it onto the boat. Knowing that it's a sub makes things a little different. There's only so much room and they only have so much time before satellites pick them up. As the sub begins to sink, Aurora watches as people drown and others are shot off of the sub. Once Aurora goes down in the control room, she holds the crew at gunpoint to try and talk them into going back up to let more people on, but she's disarmed and becomes unconscious. Once things calm down, Rebecca explains how Aurora is like a daughter to her, and 3 months ago everything seemed to change in her. Turup finds out that she is a complex being that is well beyond that of a normal human being. I would probably just keep her at the convent. She seemed really safe there compared to everything that has happened so far. I feel like the second she was brought out, cameras picked her up and organizations have apparently just been sitting behind screens waiting for her to appear all this time. Once they leave the sub, the 4 of them end up speeding off on snowmobiles, and drones come in to attack them. He ends up running his snowmobile into the last drone and Finn has to come back to get him. Once they get there, Turup is unconscious and Finn has no patience for this.
Now you or the passport are mine.
We all saw that coming. There's no way a movie full of dirty mercenaries actually has a reliable friend all the way to the end. And sure enough, Turup comes to enough to shoot Finn and put him down. As they find shelter, Turup makes everyone food while Aurora sews up his wound. The 3 of them end up celebrating a little bit and relaxing around each other, but things start to seem a little too close for comfort.
We are all going to die in New York.
See, things were too comfortable. Something had to go wrong, and judging by the power she's shown so far, I take what she says to heart. Later that night, Aurora comes out and has a heart-to-heart with Turup, and she asks why he's doing this for her. Turup responds that he's done with the mercenary life and he just wants to go home to America. Once they reach a motel in Canada, Turup cleans up and injects his new passport into his neck. When he turns around, he finds Aurora standing there and she gets ready to kiss him when Rebecca comes in the door. After they get to customs, they're all scanned and everything works out for them to get on the flight. Once they reach New York City, they see a whole different world than what they knew before. When Aurora watches the news in the apartment, she sees a disturbing sight.
They're all dead.
Sources report the destruction in Kyrgyzstan of a 1,000-year-old convent.
A missile took out a convent? Isn't that an act of war of some sort? It turns out that it was by a religious group that the High Priestess is in charge of. Religion. That's not surprising at all. Turup gets in touch with Gorsky, who explains that his job is almost done, and he just has to hand off the girl. But Turup is having a change of heart a little bit. He's beginning to realize that they have no intention of letting him or Sister Rebecca walk away free from all of this. It was a suicide mission from the start. The doctor arrives at the apartment, and Rebecca lets him in to examine Aurora.
You're a bad man.
I love that. That has to be one of the most nonchalant nods to get someone to shut up ever. Yeah, I'm a bad guy, so what? Turup begins to suspect Rebecca knows more than she lets on, but she still refuses to share with him.
I'm pregnant. Twins.
What's going on? Sister Rebecca doesn't even believe it because Aurora is still a virgin. Turup is then contacted by the High Priestess, who says to simply deliver her to the car downstairs, but Aurora says that she'll die if he does that. Being at a crossroads, Turup plays along as slowly as possible while trying to figure out an alternative. Just as Aurora goes to get in, Turup disarms the guard and starts a turf war in the middle of New York City. As they run for their lives, Aurora thanks him, but Turup's luck might have run out. A missile is shot that tracks his new passport, and he tries to give it the slip. Yeah, there's no way he survived that, but we all know how this has to go. He'll be back in action in a second, and sure enough he is. As war breaks out in the streets, Aurora makes her way down the road, taking out anyone that gets in her way. Eventually, Sister Rebecca gets shot point blank, and Turup makes it to her. In her last words, she tells Turup to protect Aurora.
I need you to live.
Well, shooting him seems a little contradictory to your plan there, Aurora. In doing that, the tracking missile ends up missing him and Aurora gets herself lost in the chaos. At the religious order's headquarters, the High Priestess finds out that Turup's dead body was taken out of the city. When Turup comes to, he's at Aurora's father's facility. Aurora's father explains how she is from an AI supercomputer mother and how he had lost her as a baby when Gorski stole her and hid her in the convent. Aurora's father believes that she is still alive and hid a message for Turup to follow, but he has to be dead again to see it. Naturally, he lets them kill them after they worked so hard to put him back together. There's no way that he should have even survived that explosion in the van, but that little gunshot from Aurora was enough to do him in. Apparently, an explosion isn't enough to do her in either. Tricky. In the last seconds before he dies, he sees that Aurora tells him to go home, and he knows exactly where that is. As they leave to find her, the High Priestess finds their hideout and asks Aurora's father where she is. As she stands face to face with her ex-husband, she takes a gun from one of the guards and shoots him herself. Turup goes home to a cabin that his family once owned, and when he goes inside, he finds Aurora curled up in the corner. You mean to tell me that this miraculously pregnant virgin has been hiding out in this rundown cabin for almost a week now without any supplies? I call bull on that, but there are bigger fish to fry. The religious group finds them and follows them in their own vehicles. After he gets rid of their pursuers, they continue down the road until they come to a hospital where Aurora is somehow ready to give birth already.
You're their father now.
I was unaware that that's how the process works, but okay. We just pass off kids like that to someone that obviously wasn't meant to care for kids up until now? Cool. After that, the credits roll. While this film does have a following, it was even featured in WatchMojo's list of top 10 films that even their director didn't like. The director actually didn't want Vin Diesel cast in the film, and he even goes as far as to call him a completely idiot actor. But in my opinion, you can see the potential in a film like this, and many others followed that had the grittiness of this one, which is what set it apart from so many other sci-fi movies of the time. If you want to try an even grittier version, there is a raw and uncut version of the film. But that's up to you if you want to sit through the extra minutes. Either way, any sci-fi fans or fans of Vin Diesel should give it a shot to see what they think. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe to help get us to 100,000 subscribers. Comment what you think I should watch next, and I'll see you in the next video.